Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Business Spotlight. I'm your host today, Todd Rodden. I'm a certified business and executive coach. I own Aspire Action Coach based here in Southwest Ohio. I think you're going to love our conversation today of a newer business, truly a startup that's really making great headway. If you've ever wondered about the combination of cognitive psychology, AI, and automotive claims, you're going to hear about somebody who's on the vanguard of change in that marketplace here today, Justin Fields, who is our guest today and with us. If you're new to the series, we're thrilled to have you join us. We encourage you to hit the like button, but also hit subscribe so you can receive future messages like you're going to hear from Justin today. So without further ado, Justin Fields, who's the co-founder of Obai, again, which is really the coming together of claims adjustment with AI to really move that marketplace forward. We're thrilled to have you here. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, about your startup business, and where you guys are heading. So, how'd you get started in auto claims and the passion for AI, Justin?
Yes, hello everyone and viewers. Thank you for that warm introduction. I really appreciate it. So to begin, the story kind of starts back when I was growing up as a kid, around the age of 7 or 8. My father started teaching me how to work on cars. From then, I was able to build these skills throughout my middle school and high school years. From then, it became a passion to actually work on cars and provide people good value, good work, and good value. From then, I went to college, started in college. This became a side job at first, just to make a couple of dollars. But I went to a business pitch competition in Dayton, Ohio. This is where I met the co-founder now, Cameron Seabrook. This was in 2021. We met and he was pitching a mobile mechanic business. I was a mechanic. We teamed up. We did that business model for about a year and a half to 2 years. We knew it couldn't scale because it was hard at the time. And that led us to pivoting to doing insurance claims. With that, we went out to Colorado from Ohio for about 5 days and processed 250 claims. After processing those claims, dealing with claimants, dealing with the insurance companies, we learned and seen that it was a lot of problems in the industry. From then, we teamed up with the company that hired us, told them we had an idea on how to make this problem a lot easier, save a lot of money, and just get the job done a lot better for people. He was into it. And after then, we went out, started to figure it out, came back, and the rest is history.
Exciting. So, yeah, a little over a year plus, I think, although you got your partners have been together for a couple of years now with this. Maybe share with us again your early stage, but who are your ideal customers? So if I'm listening out there, say, hey, this could be something that really could solve a pain point in my business.
Yeah, so for the current customers we target in third-party administrator companies and appraisal companies that have boots on the ground during disaster events, specifically events such as hail, tornadoes, wildfires, hurricanes, and floods. We look to aim to solve the problem of having appraisers going through thousands of claims during these hailstorms, specifically when they happen in major storm catastrophic events.
Okay. So, okay, yeah, very unique. Obviously, hey, an intense time. There's lots of claims that have to be processed in a hurry, right? People are looking for, their solutions quickly. So, a true pain point. And I got to say, having been in an area where we've had storms, right? I can see all of the neighbors having, going through claims at the same time. You could definitely see a need and an opportunity there.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And with that, our solution would be the expert in those neighbors' hands, allowing insurance company to become more efficient and allowing the customers to be more satisfied with their claim process.
So I'm curious in terms of what you think makes this solution unique. Is you feel like, hey, there's not anything like it in the market, or there's a different way in which you're solving this?
Yeah, so solutions that have 1 point solutions, they are either analyzing the damage or they are communicating the process, they are intaking the data from the claim. But there is no solution that truly focuses on the interaction between insurance provider and the claimant. That's where Obey comes into. We're creating a process and a system and platform that unites everyone in a transparent and efficient way while allowing the expert to guide everyone throughout the entire process.
So Justin, I'm curious. So as a new startup, a newer business, right? getting those initial customers always, a challenge. Getting customers is always a challenge, but especially when you're newer in the game. What have you found so far have been keys to getting, that initial business, getting those initial tests in place? And then what are your plans going forward from a marketing perspective?
Yeah, so our first customer started off back when we first started as the catastrophic appraisers on the ground. After we told the idea to the president of the company, we went out, raised some money for it, built our first version of it, and then we showed him. And from then, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely in on this idea. Continue building this." With that, he said, "We can sign a contract because I know as this continue to get built, it will provide the value that we expect." From then, we signed the contract with him. We've been on a hunt for another pilot to begin testing with. He's been co-marketing and co-selling with us. We've had conversations with other customers and clients, but in this industry, these companies like to move slow with new companies. So we're currently building our case studies and going through active live claims to be able to present to our next pilots and customers.
So kind of building upon that, what's been that biggest challenge then so far for you guys?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge for us so far has been completing that connection between insurance companies and claimants. We have claimants that's been submitting photos and going through our process on the application, but between completing the entire repair and getting the claim started and finished, that has been our direct challenge as to hosting it on our platform.
So is that a technology challenge, a process challenge, or is that a communications challenge?
So it's an integrations challenge. The older industry titans, they are slow moving to start to work with newer companies because we know in day and age data is of essence and importance. So they don't want to have any data leaks. They don't want to have anything that will in turn be negative towards their company. So it takes them a little while to build that trust and actually start to work with companies. The more that we continue to do our part and process claims, get feedback from claimants and our current customer, the easier it will be for us to market this to the other pilot customers.
So where do you go from here then with kind of building? You mentioned something about case studies, right? I mean, how are you finding ways to generate even more of those?
Generate more case studies.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, so our case study is currently being developed. We've processed around 20 claims, and with that, we'll take those and show the results of claim completion time, customer satisfaction, and the decrease of labor costs. Just to show that the value of removing an appraiser and letting an AI guide a claimant, that alone will be able to convince any company that our product is superior.
So I'm curious, AI, obviously it's a core part of your solution set here. Obviously a hot topic in pretty much every industry these days. How did you guys become experts in AI? How have you educated yourself? And so many of our listeners, are thirsting to learn more and what are the best ways to learn?
Yes, so AI is an ever evolving product right now. We're still new to it, everyone is still learning it, but it's about being actively learning on what you are attaining to accomplish. With that, we've been practicing with our CTO. We've been going through data models with other outsourced companies and really understanding what the AI can and can't do in our situations. Given that there are a lot of sources out here that you can try and find out, we've been figuring out the two or three that maybe work the best in conjunction for us.
Okay, so you've got multiple models that you're testing versus one another. Is that a fair takeaway from that?
Yes, yes. So testing multiple models and really understanding how we can create the best results for our situations.
Okay. So as you look forward right now, what's for you and your partner, what's the biggest challenge you have in front of you uh, here in 2025?
Expanding on our pilots, that is the most challenge because it's not upon us, it's upon others' decisions. We have the product, we have the results that are being built. At this point, it'd just be the next person seeing and saying, "Hey, I definitely can use that."
And is it something like if somebody, what it talked about before about in some regards trust, just having confidence, right? That hey, that the tool is safe is a key thing. Um, what else might be a barrier that they might perceive to jumping into the pilot that maybe isn't as big of an issue as they think?
Yes, it would be the integration. Given the conversations we've had with some large companies, they've all mentioned the same fact of working with the data storage companies that they've already been using, taking the information that we'll be receiving in photos and transferring it into the databases that their customers and clients have already been using. So having a seamless integration of their current workflows to what we're trying to get them to adjust to. Finding that perfect balance is what we'll be faced with over the next few months.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you find that actually they all have unique ways in which they process so that each integration is kind of unique for you guys? Or is it actually when you get up the hood, a lot of them do it kind of the same way? Uh,
So yeah, it'll be a few cases that are unique, but for a majority of our ideal customers, it will be of the same process.
so you mentioned ideal customers. So maybe give a couple examples of those.
Yeah, so it'll be third-party administrator companies, most importantly, the companies that put appraisers on the ground in times of need for these disaster recovery. Our North Star most where we would be most profitable at are the insurance companies who directly deal with policyholders and claimants. By them hosting our platform, they'll be able to directly interact with those policyholders instead of having to go through these third-party companies.
Okay. But it sounds like your strategy right now is to work with these third party companies, build kind of that beachhead, and then kind of eventually move up more direct, work partner directly with the insurance providers.
Exactly.
Okay, smart. Yeah. So I guarantee you've got a dream for this business, right? As an entrepreneur or startup, what's that look like? What's your vision down the road, whether it's 5, 10, however many years it is? Uh, what's your dream for where you get Obey?
Yeah, so the dream for Obey in the next 5 years would to be the number one disaster recovery company for catastrophic claims. With that, that'll set us up to cover hailstorms, fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods. All in this, the insurance industry will look towards Obey to be that claims processing company for them when the acts of God strike. At that same time, within 5 years, we do look to either be at an exit stage, worth $1 billion because we've disrupted and taken over the catastrophic claims industry, or we would like to be at an 85 to 90% profit margin area.
Okay. 85 to 90. That is robust. That is,
Yeah. Understanding overhead and software as a service, it's possible.
it's possible. Yeah, definitely. Right. So, team vital, especially as you're growing. I trust you're probably wearing lots of hats. So is your partner in the business as well. But I know you've got a growing team, and you probably got some unique skill sets you need to build and support a platform that you're creating. So, take a sec, walk us through what your team looks like. What are some of the critical skill sets, and what do you see the skill sets you're going to need in the near future?
Yeah, so huge shout out to our team because without them, we wouldn't have anything. It's nothing can be done alone. So just want to give very much props to my team. Starting off with Cameron Seabrook, co-founder and technical founder as well. He's the CEO as well. So he's above me. And then from then we have our CTO, Jonathan McCautry. He's also a startup founder. He's had multiple exits. He has an extensive background in technologically advanced products. He's worked at the Pentagon. So our CTO is of great knowledge and wealth. So we also have two junior developers named Adeyemi Taiwo and Bolahan Adikola. These two, when I tell you these two in conjunction have been the lifeline to our product development, I truly mean it. Taiwo is over the software development for front end and back end actually, and then Bolahan is over our user experience and user interface designs. He does all of our materials. He does all of our business designs and logos. And then we also have another person named Shabani. She is over our customer success, making sure that each of our claims are getting processed successfully, making contact with the claimants, making sure she's doing our project management amongst the internal team. So everyone has these individual skill sets that brings us all around to create one solid group. We've been at this size for about the last 6 months, so it's been sticking pretty good.
How do you see the team changing over time here as you grow?
Yeah, so over the next 2 months, we definitely want to bring on an AI developer, given that we've been working with an outsourced company, knowing that having hands on directly internally would continue to push us further, even without the external sources. And then along with that, we also look to bring in some sales coaches, just because we understand that this industry of selling is quite difficult. And if the approach and attack isn't properly aligned, the results will show. So making sure that we do have the guidance to secure the customers in this industry is of essence.
Okay, great. Hey, great. Uh, So lots of other early stage entrepreneurs tend to watch our series here as well. So, I mean, what advice would you give back to them? Hey, if you look back now, what do you wish you knew then that you know now and that have been keys to the success you've had so far?
Yeah, so the one quote that has been keeping me uplifted through this, amazing journey has been when they say no, we say next, and every no leads to a bigger yes. Just given that quote, I know that if I have a conversation with one person and they tell me no, I'll go have another conversation with another person. If they tell me no, I have two no's right there that's going to make a bigger yes on that third conversation. So when I have that third conversation, I learn from those two no's. Now I can get the bigger yes. And just with that essence, it's been keeping me going and making sure that goals are getting accomplished.
Okay.
And then outside of that, you have to have a passion. You have to really want, what you're going after, because if you're doing it just to do it, you won't do it for long.
All those no's stack up, right?
Yeah. When you stack up to 20 or 30 of them and you start to look back on it, if you aren't doing it because you're passionate about it, you look to start doing something else.
Yeah. I love that. I love that quote. I don't think I'm familiar with that quote. So I'm gonna shamelessly steal it and I'll give
Hey,
you
so
props for it.
to do my part, shout out to the lovely Sandra Moody. She was one of the first people that I met in the insurance industry, when they first began, and she provided that quote. She provided the first half, and then I added the second half of every no leads to a bigger yes.
Yeah, love that. Love it.
So
So that leads right on to hey, successful entrepreneurs tend to be insatiable learners, right, as well. So I'm curious, you know, how have you found ways to keep feeding yourself, right? Whether that's books, podcasts, other leaders who provide inspiration.
yeah, so given that I just recently graduated college a year ago, so my learning brain is still active. And I've learned to always be a lifelong learner. When I was young, before I started college, it was you could never know too much. You could never know everything. And then with that, I just took it and ran. But now I'm staying up to date through podcasts, a lot of industry experts that I've been meeting, having conversations with them, following up, just directly asking the people that I believe have the answers. And then I've also switched into a mode of I've learned enough. Now it's time to execute. So knowing, to switch between the two when I need to learn and then when I need to apply, that has been very vital as well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I can't, learning's vital, but it's worthless unless you're putting it into action, right? So, I love that.
You can hear all of the quotes. You can be told everything right to do, but if you never go and actually do it,
Mhm.
that's the difference.
Right. So, Justin, as we get close to wrapping up here today, what are the best ways for folks to learn more about Obey and to kind of stay connected and to follow the great progress that you're going to have ahead?
Yeah, so you can visit our website at www.obai.app, A-P-P, obey.app. That is our main website. You'll be able to book a call, schedule a demo with us through there. You can personally add me on LinkedIn at Justin Fields and then put Obey behind it because there's like 1,000 of Justin Fields on LinkedIn. So once you do that, you'll see me. And then you also can keep up with us if you would like. You can register for our newsletter email to stay up to date with us. We can add you to that, and once a month, we'll see you an email with our updates.
Okay. The monthly newsletter. That's great. Well, hey, we love you sharing your story. I mean, wealth of learnings already, just, a year plus into to launching the business. Cheers. We wrap up here today, Justin. What are you inspired by?
Hmm. Good question. I am truly most inspired by the essence of tomorrow, knowing that I have the opportunity to keep going tomorrow. Because some people don't have that opportunity, they don't know if tomorrow will be their last day to do what they're doing. But knowing that I have, momentum and I have drive behind me, it's keeping me inspired to just saying, I can do this. I can do this. Why do something else if I have a path to do this? So that's what's been keeping me inspired.
Well, Justin Fields, thank you for sharing your story, the Obey story, with us as well. Inspiring. You can definitely sense your passion, your excitement, and energy for what you and your partners and the rest of the team are launching here. Excited to learn more about the progress in the coming days and weeks as well. So, thank you for joining us here today and sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having me, Todd. It's such a pleasure.
All right. And again, to our viewers, we're appreciative of you joining us today as well. I encourage you to hit the like button to help share this message, but also hit subscribe if you haven't already, so you can receive future, insightful, inspiring messages like you heard from Justin Fields and the Obey team here today. So with that, hope you all have a terrific day. Thank you.